Good evening, everybody. I'll call to order one of three meetings that we're having tonight. The first meeting is the special board meeting, the Bond Issue Notification Act. This is the hearing tonight, Thursday, October 20th, 2026. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Yes. Deishman.
Here.
Ford. Hubbard.
Here.
Larson. Lowe.
Present.
Russo.
Here. Thank you, Mary Ann. We do have a quorum. We know a couple people are running late tonight, but we do have a quorum to move on. So number 3 is the public hearing concerning the intent of the Board of Library Trustees to sell not to exceed $8 million in general obligation bonds, alternative revenue source. The hearing is being held to receive comments regarding the library district's plans to sell bonds to renovate, repair, and equip the Batavia Public Library. First, I'd like to ask the trustees if any of you have any further comments about the board, about the bond sale. Hearing none, I'll move on and ask if the public has any written or oral testimony about the bond sale. No one online and no written communication and no one in the audience. With that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion by
Second.
Motion by trustee Lowe and a second by trustee Fasano. Mary Ann, we need a roll call.
Deishman.
Aye.
Ford. Hubbard.
Aye.
Larson. Lowe.
Aye.
Russo.
Aye.
Fasano. Aye.
Thank you, Mary Ann. And with that, we are adjourned. And in about 2 minutes, we'll start our second meeting for the evening, the special board meeting for budget and appropriations. Good evening again, and I'll call to order our second meeting of the night, the special board meeting for budget and appropriation. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Deishman.
Here.
Ford. Hubbard.
Here.
Larson. Here. Lowe.
Present.
Russo.
Here.
Fasano. Here.
Thank you, Mary Ann. So tonight's meeting is to gather public comments for the FY27 Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 2027-001. And would anyone here or online like to speak to the budget? No one online, no written comments, and no one in person. With that, would someone like to make the motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
I will second that.
Motion by trustee Hubbard and a second by trustee Fasano. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Deishman.
Aye.
Ford. Hubbard.
Aye.
Larson.
Aye.
Lowe.
Aye.
Russo.
Aye.
Fasano. Aye.
And with that, the special board meeting is adjourned, and we'll reconvene at a few minutes.
Are we sure we're all done?
I will call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Library Trustees for Batavia Public Library, Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Catherine, would you
Yes.
lead us in the pledge?
Yes, Daniel, I'd be happy to. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Catherine. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Deishman.
Here.
Ford. Hubbard.
here.
Larson.
Here.
Lowe.
Present.
Russo.
Here.
Fasano. Here.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Number 4 is public comments. Would anyone here or online like to speak to the board tonight? Hearing no request for public comment, we'll move on to number 5, Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve tonight's agenda as stated.
Second.
Motion by trustee Larson, second by trustee Lowe. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. Okay, number 6 on our agenda is approval of the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda include the regular board meeting minutes for July 16th, 2026, the July 2026 financials, which includes the BMO credit card statement dated 7/31/26, the budget report dated 7/31/2026, the cash and investment report dated 7/31/2026, the check register for 7/31/2026, and the treasurer's report for 7/31/2026. Would someone like to make the motion to approve?
I move that we approve the mentioned agenda.
Second?
Motion by trustee Hubbard and second by trustee Fasano. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Dishman,
Aye.
Ford, Hubbard,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Fasano, aye.
And it is approved. Moving on to number 7, approval of the FY27 Budget and Appropriation Ordinance 2027-001.
So, as we do annually, let me pull up my notes. So, this is something that we do annually before we apply for the levy. And we already held the hearing, and you've seen the tentative budget and appropriation ordinance, and so now this is the final. And it provides, so we do the hearing so that residents have an opportunity to review and comment on our proposed budget and appropriation before the board formally adopts it. And this ordinance establishes our legal spending authority for the fiscal year. It identifies revenues and expenditures for each of the funds, including the operating fund and then the special funds. And it sets a maximum amount that we can spend for the purposes outlined in the ordinance. So they're intentionally set somewhat higher than the actual budget that we use to provide the sufficient legal authority to address unforeseen expenses or changing circumstances during the fiscal year. So that's why budget and appropriation looks very different from the actual budget. But we, of course, do not, it doesn't mean that we intend to spend those amounts listed in the budget and appropriation. So, once it's approved, then we have to publish it in the newspaper. I'll be putting it in the Daily Herald, and we will file it with the King County Clerk's Office and the DuPage County Clerk's Office.
Questions or comments? I appreciate you highlighting the difference between the appropriated amount and the budget amount. That helps. So would someone like to make the motion to approve the budget and appropriation ordinance?
I move that we approve the fiscal year 2027 budget and appropriations ordinance 2027-001 as presented.
And a second?
Second.
Motion by trustee Larson and second by trustee Lowe. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Dishman,
Aye.
Ford, Hubbard,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Fasano, aye.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
Making me work this evening.
Nobody's left.
Okay, number 8 on the agenda, approve the Batavia intergovernmental agreement.
So, this IGA was developed from a discussion that Don had with, I forget the gentleman's name.
Deputy Superintendent Inglesio.
Regarding the recent Heritage Woods property tax appeal. the school district would be significantly hit if this appeal went through. And so Don contacted them to just talk about the situation, and they recognized that it would be more equitable for all of the affected taxing bodies to pool together the legal costs, to share the legal costs with defending this property tax assessment, rather than relying on the school district to just cover everything on their own. So, the school district will serve as the liaison for for this process and coordinate the legal response because it has the largest financial stake in the property taxes, or property tax appeals. And the legal expenses will be prorated among all of the participating taxing bodies based on their respective tax rates. So each entity's contribution reflects its financial stake in the property. And the taxing bodies jointly agreed that the IGA would apply to significant assessment challenges meeting the following thresholds: a requested reduction of more than 40% of $200,000 at the board review level, or a requested reduction of more than 40% or $400,000 at the next level of appeal. There's no proposed cap on the library share of legal expenses, but given the substantial thresholds that must be met before the agreement is triggered, this is considered a reasonable approach. And our attorney has looked at the IGA agreement once we had received it from the school district, so Richmond was able to weigh in. So what I'm presenting is a copy for the board to review and sign so that we then turn it over to the school district and we will be participating in this agreement.
So we're just providing funds, they're taking care of the actual legal.
It's my, yes, as far as I understand, but this way, if we, go ahead, Don.
One of the partners at Robbins Schwartz, well-known school law firm, does all the legal work on this. We use Robbins Schwartz for labor. They're a great firm. So they will be coordinating it.
Okay.
But the major back and forth will be between Tony and the attorney. But anytime there's anything meaningful, or if we're looking at maybe taking up another case, then all of us will jump on a call together and agree to it. But I think our share is maybe about 6% of the bill.
Okay.
So it's very small, but there is also an advantage if you have, in addition to the school district, there's us, there's the Park District, the city, and Waubonsie Community College. To have 5 taxing bodies objecting as
Right.
opposed to just the big
And if we are
bad school.
objecting, I do think it makes sense to object as a group rather than us filing separately.
Yeah, I experienced this as assistant superintendent at Barrington School District. We had 12 different communities and something like 40 taxing bodies. So everybody just sat back and we paid all the bills. But this is a better approach.
Is this specific to simply Heritage Woods, or has this created situations with other nursing homes in the area?
Different properties come up, and again, we're just looking at commercial, industrial, not residential.
So it's because of the location?
But it's, there's probably, you're going to get maybe none, maybe as many as 5 or even 10 in a given year. And then you just need to pick and choose which ones are worth going after. And looking at what they're asking for, sometimes the ask doesn't seem that out of place in terms of, it does seem awfully high and they're looking for a small. Then there's others that, this $3 million building's really only worth $100,000. And well, no, it isn't. It's worth a lot more than that. So as a group, we will determine which ones to go after. And the school district can always go after on its own if it chooses to, if no one else wants to ride along. But given that it's proportionate, it's very inexpensive to participate.
When did Heritage Woods file this objection, roughly?
This is year 2, so the prior years were already an objection that's still working its way through. And then the most recent tax year then, and I'm guessing they will probably file for the coming tax year as well.
On ongoing saga?
I'm sorry?
An
Oh, yes,
ongoing saga.
very much so.
Wasn't it Heritage Woods that also wanted tax exemption status?
No, that's a different.
That was a different one.
Yeah. The way these things oftentimes work out is we reach a settlement agreement where we agree to a certain EAV for year one and then certain increases, maybe year two, year three, so that you get an agreement for at least everybody can rest and put their swords down for 3 years.
Yeah.
And we still get a lot more than we would if they were to prevail, and they get a little bit of relief. So it's that compromise where, you know, no one walks away happy. But everybody gets something. Yeah.
Have the other taxing districts approved it already?
Everyone has either already approved it and turned it in or scheduled to approve it this month. I think we may be the last one.
Any other questions or comments about the intergovernmental agreement?
And there's two parts to this that you have to approve separately. The delegation authority has to also be a separate vote, and both are going to require a roll call vote. We're
And,
making it work tonight, Mary Ann.
Don't anybody leave.
and just to reiterate, Roger Ritzman's firm did approve, look over it.
Yeah.
Okay. Would someone like to make the motion?
I move that we approve the intergovernmental agreement as stated.
Second.
Motion by trustee Fasano and second by trustee Lowe. Any further discussion? Then Mary Ann, would you please call the roll?
Peachman.
Aye.
Ford. Hubbard. Aye. Larson. Aye. Lowe.
Aye.
Russo.
Aye.
Fasano. Aye.
And it is approved. Moving on, number 9, approval of the delegation of authority.
I move that we approve the delegation authority as stated.
Second,
I will second.
motion by trustee Larson and second by trustee Fasano. Any discussion? Mary Ann, you know what to do.
Peachman.
Aye.
Ford. Hubbard. Aye. Larson.
Aye.
Lowe.
Aye.
Russo.
Aye.
Fasano. Aye.
Thank you, Mary Ann. The approval of delegation of authority is approved.
All in signatures.
Number 10, approval of the disposal of surplus property list.
Okay, so we presented this list that Andrew graciously put together for us, I think with Kathy's help, at the Cal meeting earlier this month. And it's a variety of furniture, equipment, and other miscellaneous items that we no longer use or need, and including items that we are intentionally removing before the renovation starts. This is one of probably many other types of inventories that you will see in the next 12 months. But we are going to post what we can on rails, and some things that are so old, like technology things, they just have to be recycled. Andrew has a service that will do that. So anything that doesn't go on rails will also be either donated or recycled.
And just for clarity, Rails helps get the equipment to other libraries.
Yes, yeah, they have you can post it on their website, and I've used it many times in previous jobs. Where you can give your gently used equipment to other libraries that need it.
Okay, so we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the disposal of items listed on the library surplus property as presented.
Second.
Motion by trustee Lowe and second by trustee Hubbard. Any further discussion? And this can be a voice vote, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it is approved. Moving on, number 11, the president's report. School's just started, which indicates that it's almost time for library card sign-up month. September is library card sign-up month, and as everybody heads back to school, that's a perfect time to sign up for your library card if you haven't already done so. This year's theme is that your library cards hits all the right notes. And going along with that theme, just as a reminder, you can borrow musical instruments, you can borrow recorded music, you can stream movies and books, and of course, we have many musical programs. So I always like to mention Library Card Sign-Up Month. I also like to mention that next year will be a Library Leader Year, which means in April we'll accept nominations for a Library Leader, and then we typically award it during the month of September. So next Library Card Sign-Up Month, next September, or a year from September, we'll be presenting another Library Leader Award. And the last thing I'd like to mention is that 3 of the trustees' terms end this year, and so now is the time to pick up a petition packet if you're interested in running as a trustee, and on the website is a packet of information that you can access that will tell you.
Are there 4 seats?
3. We had 4 at the last one.
So
How does it work?
check out the website if you're interested in that, the library's webpage.
And there are printed copies of everything you need at the behind the circulation desk.
Do any trustees have anything else to share with the audience?
A couple things, the Depot Museum has just opened up a new exhibit called In Harmony, Batavians Making Music, which I would encourage everybody to check out. Also, the Batavia Historical Society will be hosting a viewing of a new video, Our Hometown History, on September 9th. So you should see flyers for that.
Can you tell us about the video a little?
It is, let's see. Batavia has a rich history. It includes many fascinating people, stories, and claims to fame. And it just gives an overview, highlighting the museum that a local filmmaker partnered with us to do.
Oh, great. Thank you, Chris. Anything else from any trustees? Then moving on to number 12, the director's report.
Okay, so our July financial highlights, our materials expenses were low in July because we won't be receiving those invoices until August, so it doesn't reflect in our, you won't see those amounts until next month. Personnel expenses were high because we had 3 pay periods in the month of July. I think that happens twice a year. The next one I think is November, December. Anyway, there'll be another one. Progress payments to product architecture and design through August totaled $613,082. Our fiscal year 27 taxes continue coming in on schedule. We had some modest distributions in July and August. There should be 2 more disbursements in September, and our collections will exceed 98% by the end of September. Illinois Department of Revenue released the fiscal year 27 personal property replacement tax estimates on August 13th, and our estimate is $63,939 compared to $40,000 budgeted for this fiscal year. And we actually received $52,442 last year, so that amount has gone up since last year. As illustrated in the cash and investments report, our cash and investment allocations for July, we had $61,687 in our cash, with cash checking. Our liquid investment pools was $3,967,285. And our CDs and U.S. Treasuries were $7,204,704, with a total of $11,233,677, which, as you know, more than half of that is earmarked for the renovation project. So the renovation project update. So we had our beta hearing, that's all good, and then the construction bidding. So we went out to bid on August 7th, and we held a pre-bid meeting on August 13th. We had a really good turnout, which is good, because that, shows that there's some interest in our project. And basically, SMC, Product Architecture, and Kathy and I walked around with contractors and just looked throughout the building to see all the different areas that are gonna be worked on, and answered any questions they had. Took about an hour, I think. The bid opening will take, we did the similar thing for the, when we did a RFP for architects, they all came and I gave a tour of the building. The bid opening will take place on September 1st at 1 p.m. And then after that, SMC will conduct a comprehensive review of all the bids and recommend which contractors should be selected for the renovation project. And those final bid results are really crucial because it's gonna help us determine which of the alternatives we can include in the project. As you know, we have, I think, about 5. So we're anxious to see what comes in on September 1st.
Have there been any questions or updates to the plans based on what the contractors have seen?
What do you mean?
Well, often when the contractors are going through the bidding process, they may notice a hole in the plans that they request additional information on.
Oh.
I'm just curious as to whether or not.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
No, we had one man, but I couldn't tell if he was contacting me as a patron or a community resident, or if he was contacting me as a vendor, because he was asking questions about the electrical work, so I referred him to SMC. So once we receive all these bids, SMC's reviewed them, we hired them to then look through all these bids and help us select who we're gonna go with. So the board is not expected to review or evaluate the individual bids, but hopefully, now it might be, I think we should be able to have a fast turnaround because, we're doing the bid openings on the 1st and then we have a counting on the 3rd. But I think by then we should be able to give you a heads up on who SMC is recommending we go with and kind of get it all out. If they want more time to actually put together a formal proposal or, a summary in writing, then we might not have it until the regular meeting. But I would send it out before the meeting so you have a chance to read through it before you have to vote on anything.
Bid opening again on which day?
The 1st, it's a Tuesday? That one?
That's good.
Yeah, because then we have the board meeting on the
Right.
that Thursday.
Do we have any legal obligations as far as hiring the lowest bidder or anything like that?
Yes,
It's lowest responsible bidder,
yes.
Okay.
so you have quite a bit of wiggle room there.
So if somebody says I can do it for $10, we can always assume that that's not going to go. So September's gonna be just a really big month for us in terms of, the renovation project before it actually starts, because we're also doing quite a bit of packing. We've met with pallet movers to talk about packing our office space as well as the collections. We've worked it out, Megan and Lisa have worked it out that originally we thought we were going to have to put some of our youth collection into storage during phase 1, but they don't think we have to do that now. They're gonna be able to fit everything on the first floor. It'll be tight, but it should all, pretty much 95% of the collection will be available during phase 1.
I don't know if you heard this before the meeting, but I ran into a citizen who lives in Wheaton and was talking about their library renovation, and their library staff encouraged patrons to check out books before the renovation and keep them until after the renovation. And that way they can actually move them. So I don't know if that's something that we want to consider, but I thought it was a brilliant idea to actually get some,
Offsite
I have some
storage.
thoughts on that.
yeah,
How many books would you like to check out?
it's free outside storage, so.
Because we're able to fit everything up here and be accessible, we don't have to worry about changing a lot of things on the back end and making things not available and having to store it. So luckily, we don't have to encourage
Okay.
people to keep things that long. We'll be able to operate a lot closer to normal than we would have otherwise.
And even though Wheaton's doing that, I think it opens it creates a scenario where you're more likely to not get some of those materials back after a very long stretch of time.
I get you doing that part of it that way.
Okay, so, let's see, I don't remember the exact dates, but we're going to be, and we'll talk about this more in September, but and I'm gonna need you, Megan and Lisa, to jump in. What's the timeline starting in September, in terms of the collection?
We're starting to shift things around in our final shifting phase up here around mid-September. So things will start to look weird enough that the public might start asking questions around then. Caesar will do, a lot of helpful things to clarify what's going on. Then the week of September 28th, Hallett is gonna come out and start tagging and moving collections up. We believe it will be all upstairs and available to the public by Friday, October 2nd. We're also gonna move staff up on the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of that week by departments. That's gonna be a joint effort through, IT and facilities mainly, but all of us will help as we can. And then we will make sure that everything in storage is moved up no later than October 23rd to make sure that construction can start on time.
So we will be, in order to, we're going to store as much as we can in the library during phase one. So we've designated some areas, they're in the public spaces, but there's areas that won't be too intrusive where we can store bins of whatever, that will have covers over them so that they won't tempt anyone to try to, pull things out of these bins, but it will help save cost, or cut costs, because storing them will cost a lot. So we think we're able to do that, because remember, we're probably getting rid of pretty much all the furniture to be replaced, so we don't have to store that. It's mostly program supplies and just staff personal items or things that they use for their job.
I have some virtual space in my basement.
Oh, thank you. What else? I think that's about it for the renovations so far. We also discussed with Hallett about how phase 2, A, B, C, that's gonna be a real juggle, because we have to move collection, so youth will all be back downstairs, but ATS, we have to move it around and shift it at different points of that 3-part phase. Simultaneously, we are reducing the height of our shelving. So it's rather complicated, and it's quite we have to choreograph it in a certain way. There may be a situation where we might want to consider especially during phase 2, adjusting the library hours, opening up slightly later because of the noise levels of different parts of the construction. I'm not saying we would close, but instead of opening at 9, maybe we open at 11 or 12, because they are gonna get here at 6 a.m. at the latest probably, and do a bulk of their, heavy-duty loud stuff. And it's gonna be the most intrusive in phases 2 and 3. So that it would be the only time where, if it got to the point where it really was problematic in terms of noise and just disruption overall, we might want to consider just opening 11 or 12, but staying open until 9, because from 2 or 3 o'clock to 9, it'll be quiet. Right. I'm not saying that we should do it, I think we just need to keep it as a possible consideration if it gets to that point, because that part of the whole renovation is going to be very organized chaos.
With the programs being on hold, how much will that actually impact anticipated visits? I imagine that there's not a lot of visits.
I think we're gonna see definite dips in everything for that year.
I mean,
We're
but
gonna-
normally,
We'll see, well, we'll have attendance at our off-site programs, so we'll count that as attendance.
okay, yeah, well,
But, excuse me, traffic flow in the building, I think is gonna be reduced significantly. I also think our collection will see a dip in circulation, but we might see a rise in our digital, which we already are seeing a rise in that, and a decline in print materials.
yeah, my assumption was it would be minimally impactful if we opened a little bit later, just because not a lot of people come, especially like during.
Well, they're not gonna wanna come and use the library for a study space or something when there's, so, and that's gonna be a
Yeah.
bulk of it. But if you wanna check out books, you can do that anytime. But if you're looking for a quiet place in the morning, it's, I don't think, those folks aren't gonna be coming to the library for a while.
Could we still offer pickup for people who wanted to pick up during those hours?
That's something we could certainly consider, you know.
And the website and Caesar's other promotions will help the public be aware.
Yes, yeah, and we'll be doing a renovation newsletter and regular posts on social media, updating our website, and I think once the bids are back and the board, and we know what we're gonna, our final thing's gonna look like, that's when I'll do those press releases. So.
Yep.
Lots of stuff.
And that would be in October,
Late September.
like September.
Because the board meeting's the 16th, so I figured right after that.
Yeah.
We could, I could.
Yep.
Send it out. And the Kane County,
Aren't we doing an open house?
yeah, in September.
That should be.
That's on the 22nd, is that right? It's a Sunday?
The 20th.
The 20th?
20th.
Yeah. It's on our calendar. I know. And we're not gonna be doing tours or anything like that, it's just gonna be in the program room, and I'll be doing a PowerPoint presentation with the renderings and just discussing the presentation.
The.
Oh, that it's happening,
That it's happening.
got it. Okay. Okay, so. Discuss that. All right, so, any questions about renovation stuff? It's starting to really feel real. Okay, so staff updates. We did not have any new hires since the last board meeting, but we have had quite a few departures. Mary Lumiere's left circulation. She took another position, or I'm not sure if she took another position or increased her hours at another job she had, but she left circulation a couple weeks ago. Snehaja, she was working less than 10 hours a week, and it was like a second job for her, and she was in school too. I don't know how she did it. But she finished school, and she decided to not keep working here as her second job. And then Kathy Bonnick, who's been here 8 years and just had her anniversary this month, is retiring. We obviously had another resignation recently, Holly DeBose, who works in both circulation and youth services. She took a job as a veterinary assistant, which is what she's been. So we've got quite a few openings in circulation. So Kathy Bonnick, as I said, had reached 8 years, and Bethany Portala Dean has been a page in circulation for 5 years now. In July, we had a $50 donation from Teresa and Ronald Gromas in memory of Kate Schmidt, and a $300 donation from the Homestead Resident Association. They make a donation every year. Yes. And then we did receive one donation just recently from Lori DeRose, a $50 donation made directly to the Community Foundation of Fox River Valley. And our total balance for the BPL fund at the Community Foundation is $150,201.54, and then in our children's fund balance, we have $1,000. And our next month, we'll have the Committee of the Whole on September 3rd, and hopefully we'll be able to look at a summary or results of those bids. And then on September 17th, at the regular board meeting, is when we'll vote to accept or approve which contractors we're gonna use for the renovation. So it'll be a big month for us. Oh, now we'll go on to, we'll go on to statistics. As I said, our physical items have gone down about 9% from July of last year. However, our e-resources have gone up 13%. We've seen this trend for the last couple of months now. But our overall circulation from this month last year is down about 5%. Let's see. Reciprocal borrowing has also been down, which is fine by me because, it's just more for our Batavia residents, but it is something interesting to note. And let's see. We have our visitor and room usage, so our library visitors is up 2%. So even though our material circulation is down a bit, our visits are up a little bit. Our meeting room reservations have gone up about 56% for July 2026 compared to July 2025. And the attendance for those meetings went up 120%. And our study room usage also increased by 10%. And then, let's see. I'd also like to point out that our website homepage hits has gone up 17% from July 2026 compared to July 2025. Did we have the new website then? July 2025?
No.
It's
No,
all
in
right, I don't
September.
remember. Okay, so it's nice to see that we have an increase in usage of the website. And our page views went up by 71%. And the unique visitors increased by 15%. Our Facebook followers increased 23%. Instagram increased 17%. And I'm always amused by TikTok going up, even though we haven't really been using it. That's kind of the highlights of our stats. Any questions?
How much longer are the meeting rooms going to be available?
Last week of September, they're closed.
Okay.
Are they they still can use study rooms and can use the group study rooms too? Yeah.
Up
but
here.
So, a small meeting could still use it, but for the most part, they're not gonna be available, but
Others folks are usually do their meetings for.
yeah. And I sent out a letter to, a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
to all of the folks who regularly use our meeting rooms, just to let them know what the situation was, and that would be on hold for 12 months. Now, librarian reports.
Stay seated if I wanted to.
Lisa has a new
It's all
toy.
good, it's all good. She needed to move anyway. So summer reading is over. We can all take a deep breath, but in all seriousness, it was wonderful, as it always is. We love to see those shining faces and that enthusiasm. We had 375 kids sign up. This year, we broke things down into a birth to age 5 and then a school age of 5 to 14. Previously, it was all just kind of one program, and because we do activities in addition to reading, we wanted to try something new this year and have the separate birth to 5 so we could have activities that were a little bit more directed towards that age group. I also personally wanted to see if it did anything to increase our numbers, and I don't know if that helped, but we did have a 2.5% increase overall of signups this year, and a 3.7% increase overall of kids that completed the program overall, and that includes that birth to 5 as well as the school age. So that's exciting news. There were lots of wonderful prizes, and we really appreciate the support of our local businesses. Can't offer such a great program without their support. But yeah, great program this year, and huge thanks to the team who put so much time and effort into decorations and figuring out prize baskets and logging all the reading and listening to the kids talk excitedly about what they read this summer. And one of our favorite activities this summer that was optional was tell us a joke, and we got some real doozies. Including some what I would term dad groaners. But it was a lot of fun, and we look forward to now planning winter reading, which, believe it or not, is not that far away. But anyway, on to programs this summer from July. We had a number of birth through preschool programs. I think you probably recall me talking about the fact that we were offering alternate number and alphabet parties. We really like to continue to work on those math concepts, those literacy concepts over the summer and expose kids to that. And Mary Podrasky worked on our number party this summer, and early literacy librarian Tara Kazda did the alphabet party. So they really were a great team on those two activities, and there's lots of fun pictures in your board report of what they did. I do love the ones from the alphabet party. We have T is for tube and T is for trash, among other things, and boy, those little hands were busy. So lots of really fun creativity on behalf of my teammates, so kudos to them. We also offered a baby sensory program a couple of times this summer, and Library Associate Kayla Johnson did our July one, and there were a lot of fun activities. And full disclosure, the little cherub in the last two pictures there to your right is Allison Wise's little one. But the picture was just too cute, we had to include it. Elementary and middle school programs. Summer is always a great time to try to draw those kids in. It can be a challenge during the school year when they're so busy with other activities. Allison Wise led an egg drop challenge in early July for grades 4 to 8. I will say we had more success with that upper elementary group wanting to come and do it, but what they did was build a protective coating or covering around the egg, and then Allison dropped it off a little stair, rolly stair there, and we tested it to see if it would actually withstand the fall, and quite a few surprisingly did. So those kids have clearly been working on their STEAM skills. Melissa led in edible gardens, in keeping with our plant a seed, read theme. And we had some rock painting that Mary Seskel led. We had quite a few little flat rocks in the back storage area, and we're trying to figure out how we could get rid of them. And the kids had a great time painting them, so win-win. We also had another workshop led by Crayola where they made turtle art, which was a lot of fun. Many of you may have heard of the phenomenon called K-pop demon hunters.
We might have heard of that.
Yeah, just a few. Some of us would like to claw our ears out, but anyway, it was a family program led by Amy Marks, and it proves that it is still popular. We had a woman from Parties with Character come dressed as Ruby, one of the main characters from the movie, and she was a huge hit. We've got lots of pictures there of her posing. Yes. Bessie and Annie both had fun. There was another picture of both of them posing with Ruby. So yes, it was a very good time. Big shout out goes to Mary Steskel, who always takes on our off-site programs in the summer. She does both Craft at Angstrom and bingo at Big Woods, and inevitably it is incredibly hot and humid on all of those days. But she really brings her creativity with the craft and her enthusiasm with bingo, and we do both letter, number, and picture bingo for those that are not yet familiar with all their numbers and letters. So it's always a good time and a great opportunity to kind of meet people out in the community. We were fortunate to host the Banana Bands. This is a traveling band, and they are usually pretty expensive to have, but we were fortunate to be able to partner with some other area libraries who were able to book them around the same time frame and receive them at a reduced rate. So we had 91 people for that. More drop-in crafts, bookmarks, and whatnot, and we always have those passive discover and uncover activities out on the floor, and we were able to feature author and illustrator Jory John, and also a fantasy character scavenger hunt that was put together by Courtney Philippin. So we've had lots of fun, and in dramatic play in July, it was birthday party, so we heard many renditions of Happy Birthday. And we had a lot of stuffed animals and puppets that were the guests at the parties, and it was a lot of fun just overhearing some of the conversations and seeing them wrap the gifts and some of the interesting foods that were served at the parties. Couple of outreach events in July. We once again went to Family Day, which was Sunday during Windmill City Fest, and a huge shout out to multiple staff members across multiple departments for their help in manning a booth there, and to Caesar and his team for helping get everything pulled together as well. We interacted with 313 people, so it's really a great opportunity for us to be out in the community, and while not all of them are necessarily our residents, it's just a great opportunity to be out there at the library. And we were also, in the spirit of trying to clear out our storage space, we had a number of old paperback books that we didn't want to pack and pay to store for renovation, and we had a lot of young patrons, including the one pictured there, who were thrilled to receive a brand new free book. So winner. We also participated in a new outreach event this year that the Park District was trying out. They called it Popsicles in the Park. And that was over at Engstrom Park, and basically they had popsicles. We brought some lawn games and did some sidewalk chalk. Hopefully there'll be some additional community partners in the future, but we had a great time, and we always appreciate the opportunity to partner with the Park District. Any questions?
Did you get through all of the letters of the alphabet?
We did not, and don't ask me how they decided which letters to focus on, but yeah, a lot of creativity. So fortunate to have such creative colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can scooch here. She's like, I'll just move the table. Yeah, I feel like the last thing you need is me bumping into your leg. So before I look back at July, I did want to be sure to mention an upcoming event because I don't know if you've seen, but there's a blood shortage, and we have good timing in that we actually partnered with the Red Cross and we're doing an upcoming blood drive. So there are still spots available. It's August 31st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if anyone would like to come donate, you will receive an Amazon gift card from the Red Cross, or if you know anyone that might be interested, we're really happy to be able to help meet the need that is facing our country. So looking back at July, as Lisa mentioned, it was summer reading, and we had another great year in ATS. We had an 11% growth from last summer. It's been really exciting to see 3 years in a row of us just growing participation numbers each year. I think we're really, fine-tuning it each time to make it easier for people to participate and hopefully offering a lot of fun things. As Lisa mentioned, we're really grateful to all the businesses in the community that offer so many great prize opportunities. And this year we actually stumbled into a really cool bonus prize option, which is the Illinois Reads Together initiative through the Illinois Secretary of State's office. Offered a chance for kids and teens to win the ability to either throw out the first pitch at a Cubs game or be part of pre-ceremony activities and get a bunch of free tickets. So I begrudgingly even say as a Sox fan, it seemed too cool to pass up. I think Liesl is very prescient by splitting her programs into grade school and younger. It made it very easy to participate too, because we got to just run a very simple report for the eligible ages. So we submitted all of our readers from grade school through high school that are able to get a chance to win, so cross your fingers that maybe we will have some lucky BPL readers. So that was a very cool thing that became available. We also were able to give out 44 people got free tickets to Chicago Symphony Orchestra performances at Ravinia through their program, the Words and Music program that they offer every year. We were able to join that and get the free tickets to be able to offer to people, and they all went out to members of the public, so that was exciting. Due to the help of Chris Lowe, I was able to go to a meeting of the Historical Society. We're collaborating with them to figure out the best way to convert our digital archive and a lot of our historical documents that are online to make sure they are still available for people, but that we are in compliance with all the accessibility changes in the law. So that is going really smoothly, and we're really grateful to be able to collaborate so well with them. We're actually meeting again next week, is that right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, to really make some progress there. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Our America 250 series went very well. We had 4 different programs focused on the country turning 250 years old. We had 189 people attend the various ones. We had a sing-along concert, and Benjamin Franklin came, and Abigail Adams was here. And we had a genealogy program on your revolutionary ancestors that all went very well, so we were really excited to be able to offer that to people. And our Sweet Life program launched at Sturdy Shelter. This is our first one, who's our testing ground for kind of the offsite programs at Sturdy Shelter in particular, but really giving us, some experience on how to make it work. As you can see, they had a great time. I think they've already voiced that they might never return, so that may now just be a permanent program that takes place at Sturdy Shelter. So we're really grateful for them for offering the opportunity, and we're happy to see people having so much fun. I know they're really looking to meet the senior crowd more, and also we encourage people who participate in programs there to bring things for their food donation program they do, so there's just a lot of good that comes out of it, and hard to be mad about smiling faces like that, and any programs that happen at Sturdy Shelter, people are able to get a beverage of their choice should they choose to, so it really was a lot of fun. We also had a lot of really successful crafting programs over the last month. We always notice a big increase in teens coming out for them, which is no surprise because they're actually available in the summer. So we did some extra programs with them, including this feather macrame craft, and then we did things with adults too, like the people made sublimation art coasters. One of our patrons brought her inspiration bonnet that is on her her artwork that she's also wearing for her pose, so that was fun. Our craft night is really going well. Those numbers have been growing, so we really just we're noticing that people really love the crafting, so we're trying to meet demand as much as we can. And we were happy
That's
to.
a good sign for the new makerspace.
Yes, exactly. And this, this in-between phase really lets us test things out a lot to see what is, where do we want to go with what more we purchase, what more do we offer, where do we put our energy, and so it's been a nice kind of transition phase. And then hopefully people will be very excited when we have a real official place to do these things. So we had a great month.
That's right.
Megan, would you just talk a little bit about the Historical Society and the Accessibility Project, what that is?
Absolutely. So there's been a change in the law about accessibility standards, mainly around accessibility readers. So for people who have vision issues or are blind, there are devices that can read out what is on a website that they're looking at. It has a hard time reading PDF documents if they're not made the right way. Anything that was sort of scanned or created as a PDF in years past, this was not a requirement that people needed to worry about or something to focus on because the technology was just not there yet to be able to do it. As technology has grown and evolved, the demand for making sure everybody can access it has grown. And for government entities, which would include the library, now we're going to have a new standard that we have to meet. Luckily, we have a lot of advanced time to make sure we're in compliance, but it is really important to meet that standard, and we want to do it anyway, because we want to make sure that everyone is able to access these things. So the Batavia History website that has a place where it leads you to the archive, and it has some other materials on there, it's not currently in compliance. There's no way for us to just fix the website. It would involve taking every single document and recreating it from scratch. As I'm sure you guys know, we have tens of thousands of newspapers, each of which is multiple pages in a document. That's not something we can just fix. So Caesar and I are actually exploring some options of different hosting platforms that would be in compliance, be able to load it in correctly. And we're working with the Historical Society to make sure it's just a really smooth transition. And also the Depot Museum and Kate Garrett is a part of this too, because they've collaborated on a lot of this. So we just want to make sure that everything that everyone put so much time and money and effort into making available to see digitally is still going to be available to people. But we also want to make sure that we're in compliance and that it's smooth for all the organizations participating. So I feel really excited about actually the opportunity, because the other nice thing about us being prodded to make this adjustment is there's a lot about the Batavia history site that we would have wanted to make more user-friendly anyway, both in the way it's organized, just in making sure it's a little more modern, user-friendly, easy to understand the organization of it, that it looked really fresh. So this is the perfect chance to do that. And a lot of what's on that site really just leads you to another site, so we're really not going to be losing much content-wise. So it's really nice to have community partners, though, that are all on the same page and working together to make sure we hit that new standard.
Thank you for that explanation. Other questions or comments? As always, thank you. Those reports are great. So number 14, upcoming meetings. We have 2 upcoming meetings, Thursday, September 3rd for our cow meeting, and the regular board meeting on Thursday, September 17th. Number 15 is adjournment. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by trustee Russo, second by trustee Hubbard. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.